Hey there, everyone. Welcome to our Let's Play of Pokemon Opalo. This is post-recording Leppy, who's going to be doing the audio recording for today. We had a bit of a hiccup with this episode. The audio while recording was ineligible, so I'll just be doing post-commentary afterwards. So pretty much after the last episode, we saved the Mudbray, and now we're here to challenge the second gym. This second gym has a cool, neat challenge, which is you have to kind of dodge the Mudbrays, as you can see in the beginning, and getting used to like where your character normally walks in the hitboxes. Kind of bump into it, and is a ground type gym, so I think we have a pretty good stuff. We face the first trainer. They lead off with Swinub. We go with our Tangerine. Sadly, Tangerine really doesn't have any good water moves. I mean, only got Water Gun. But, we use Rock Smash since Swinub is a nice type as well. So Rock Smash can guarantee to drop the defense. They go into Wooper. That's fine. We gotta be swapping out with Brayburn. Brayburn is pretty much Grass Electric. Sure, the electric type moves that he has is pretty useless, but Mega Drain can pretty much just deal with all of these guys. So this is actually the second time I record this episode. Fun fact: we've been having a lot of issues for some reason, just like bad luck. The first time I recorded, it didn't properly record, and I kind of had to reset it from there. And now with the second recording, audio was ineligible to understand, and I'm like, well, I gotta do this post-production recording. But pretty much, Brayburn is just gonna take down the rest of these trainers. They're pretty simple. It's kind of neat, these mechanics that they use for the gyms. They're pretty intuitive and pretty interesting. Like the first gym had like the office theme, which you have to pay attention and like get the favorite stuff for the gym leader. And this one is dodging Brayburns and opening little patches. We have Tangerine here off the lead versus Geodude. Obviously, Geodude has 30. We can't one-shot it, but Tangerine can just finish it off afterwards. Geodude has Magnitude, which is, weaker Earthquake, but still, if it can hit hard, it can pretty much knock out Tangerine. I'm actually surprised how strong Cubone is, or how frail Tangerine is, because she just gets knocked out by one Bone Club. And then we just bring out Brayburn. Brayburn pretty much just Mega Drains, and he can just carry this whole gym pretty much. At least against the trainers early on. I go and look, I just swap out S'mores. Have Brayburn lead the pack. So, they have their own little pattern. You're just supposed to dodge them around. I'm just trying to figure it out. And, and the nice thing is, even if you mess up, you don't start all the way from the beginning. I didn't see where the switch was, and I go here and I go, damn, I realized we need to find the switch. So, we face this trainer off, which we have to fight anyways. They lead off with Sandile. I lead off with Brayburn. They use Mud Slap. I go for Mega Drain. Thank God we didn't get the accuracy miss, because we did get drop in accuracy. And then they go for Palpitoad. They go for Supersonic. And I'm like, geez, now we're confused and have accuracy drop. But we dodged the confusion. We hit the Palpy. And they get knocked out because they're water ground and they're 4 times weak to grass moves. S'mores, we're like, do we give S'mores assurance? And I'm like, yeah, we can just get rid of like Sandtomb. Sandtomb is pretty mediocre. Like, right now S'mores sadly doesn't have a really good ground move. So I go and look for the switch, find the switch, click it, and then I'm just like, okay, now I just gotta dodge these. Get hit, but then I notice, look, we don't start from all the way in the beginning. We just start from the beginning of this section, which is neat. Hit that switch, it's gonna be for the up top part, just dodging these Mudbrays. And now we're up to the third trainer. I'm like, wow, we got like 3 trainers, and you really can't dodge them. They put the trainers here in positions that we can dodge them. And really, we're not over leveled, to be honest. We're actually on par with the trainers here, which is nice. I think this is something I really like about this game is how we're always on par with the trainers, and like the wild Pokemon were never overstated or over level. Which I think if you do try to do a Nuzlocke with this game, it's gonna be a real big challenge because holy crap, being always on par with the trainers and stuff like that, and some of these fights are they get some pretty tough Pokemon, and I know they buffed a lot of the weaker ones, so this was an easy puzzle. So that's the gym door. We're just trying to dodge the Mudbrays. We gotta go to the other side, pick this one up, click the switch. Now, you're gonna see here, I go in and I thought to myself, oh man, I didn't heal with the Pokeball, but you really don't have to. The Pokeball, they heal your team right before the gym leader. So this is a Casey, she's the ground type gym leader. And she's pretty much a pretty good fight. I think we still lead off with Brayburn, if I am correct. And she's gonna lead off with a Mudsbury, if I am correct. I also like her sprite design. I think it's pretty neat. I like the cowboy aesthetic. Yeah, so she leads off with Mudbray. We have Brayburn. Brayburn doesn't one-shot, but this Mudbray does have stamina. So I think what I do here is I'm going to switch out Brayburn for Peep, because Mudbray did a lot of damage to Brayburn, and I know Brayburn is going to be our star of the show. I didn't know she was going to super potion it, to be honest. And then I'm just realizing to myself, I'm like, oh man, wait, this has stamina. Peep is not going to be able to like just deal with this. So I think I go back to Brayburn because I know they're not going to go for it. I'm like, well, they can't have another slow like move, right? And I was wrong. They also have Rock Tomb. We didn't take much damage from it, but, you know, it still slows us down, and that's the big issue. Because Brayburn isn't that fast. They are very bulky, but they are not that fast. Like, their speed is super slow. So she sends out Piloswine. I'm like, well, Brayburn can't deal with Piloswine, because it's ice ground. So they most likely are going to use an ice move on them. Which I was right. She goes for Icy Wind. I sent out Tangerine knowing that she really doesn't have much damage to deal with it. Then it goes for Bulldoze and just knocks out Tangerine. And at this point, I'm thinking to myself, man, Tangerine really isn't helping out in this team. They're very frail. They don't really have any good moves. And I just bring out Banana, because I know Banana, even with a speed decrease, can survive a Bulldoze and still hit Piloswine. I know it's not going to win. It almost knocks it out, but it gets hit by Icy Wind and just gets knocked out. But that's fine. It was just pretty much to set this up so that we can get the guarantee knockout with Nala, since it's fire type. And that's what we do. We use Flame Charge, knock it out. Nala gets a speed boost. And then after that, she brings out Tangela from the region exclusive that's unique here, which is Grass Ground. So Nala does also do pretty decent damage because grass is weak to fire and ground doesn't resist fire. But Tangela does have rough skin, so every physical contact move is gonna hurt Nala and knock it out because Tangela has Mud Shot and we're a fire normal type, similar to like Lileo. And we send out Peep. Peep takes some rock damage. We're like, okay, that's fine. We'll just wing attack it. Take a little bit off of rough skin. They go for Needle Arm. Needle Arm really doesn't do that much. But they do heal with Citrus Berry. And we get a crit, which is nice. Then we're gonna take another needle arm. You know, we're at 10 HP, but I know Peep can knock it out without any hassle because we know that Ruskin only does like 7 damage. So Peep will survive with like 3 HP. So we beat the gym leader. We get the second gym badge. It was a really tough fight, a really interesting fight, even with only three Pokemon. I feel like they're pretty good core, especially 2 out of the 3 being dual types, and 2 dual types that like can counter a grass that is like a water type. So that was really neat to see. I like that the team comp for them kind of fits the nature of the gym, but also can help counter their weaknesses. And also, I found out that this person up here just heals your Pokemon. Like, if you need to go to heal instead of going to the Pokemon gym, you can just get healed right in front of the gym. It saves you some time. We then meet Gala. She talks to us, surprised that we beat the second gym. Worried about, because in like 2 episodes ago, we kind of got high off of some native plants and saw some legendary Pokemon, and she tells us that she's going to the 3rd gym, and that's what we're gonna do too. We're gonna follow her over to the go to Route 5, and we're gonna go and try to get to the 3rd gym. Here we're just walking around trying to see what new Pokemon we can find in our to add to our collection. We see a Magnemite, and I was like, oh yeah, let's add Magnemite. You know, we don't have that in our crew. Try to Stun Spore. I forgot that Stun Spore doesn't affect grass and electric Pokemon because of the paralysis. Paralysis doesn't affect electric Pokemon, but that's fine. They have Sonic Boom, but we have Mega Drain, and Brayburn does a lot of damage. Well, we're not trying to knock out the Magnemite. Does Sonic Boom. Then we throw a Pokeball or a Great Ball? Yeah, we throw a Great Ball at it. And I think this just catches it. It's pretty simple, yeah. And then we named Magnemite Warheads. I looked to see its Pokemon entry. It was kind of neat. The units at its size are extremely powerful magnets. They can pull like iron 300 feet away, which is wild. And I call it Warheads, like the little candy. Then we keep going down the route. We meet this trainer. He's a gold miner. He's looking for gold. He leads with a Snubble. I'm like, okay, well, I'm just gonna lead with Tangerine and just use a water gun. They charm us. Then they do a headbutt. That's like 28 damage. I'm like, holy shit. Tangerine like about to get knocked out by a level 22 Snubble. They go for Dankiss. Doesn't really do much. We go for Mega Drain to get our HP back, you know. And we knock it out. And they send out a Murkrow, and I'm like, oh dang, a Murkrow. And great typing for Brayburn, Grass Electric. We only take neutral damage from flying moves, and we have Shockwave to just knock it out. So like we don't even have to worry about flying types with Brayburn. We talk to this girl. She tells us about the legend of the woman of the river. They say that if you throw, she threw herself a long time ago because of love affairs. If you leave her flowers, you'll be lucky into your romantic relationship. But you know, it hasn't been working for this lady. Then we come over here. We pick up a rare candy. This game loves to drop rare candies, which is nice. You know, I'm always a fan of finding rare candies. We find this regional's Farfetch, which is kind of neat. It's actually Flying Steel, similar to Skarmory. I noticed that they didn't change the Pokemon entry for this one, which is kind of funny. Because it doesn't use a stick, it uses a fork. And I was like, oh, what do we name this? And I'm like, let's name it Turkey. It looks like one. And its sprite is kind of cool. I like that it's a recolor Farfetch with a little pilgrim hat. And we go back in this route because I was planning to switch up some Pokemon. We find this Karupi, and we add this Karupi into our collection. We name it Bug Juice, pretty much. And I keep going back to switch up our team members. I swap out Peep for Turkey, and Tangerine gets replaced for Crab Legs. I just really felt like Crab Legs is gonna fit a little bit better than Tangerine. Tangerine really hasn't been pulling their weight, sadly. And this game is a little bit more difficult than normal games, but not like super challenging. And I never really get the chance to play with Kingler anyway, so I'm like, let's just bring in Crab Legs. And I kind of want to use the unique Pokemon of this game, so when I find a road that they can fit, that we already have a slot for, I'll bring them in. Because really, that's why we're playing this game, is to see all the neat and cool Pokemon of this game that they added. Not to play the same old, same old. So, they sent out Dollar, and Dollar's a bug type, you know. Don't worry, Turkey got this. Turkey goes for an Aerial Ace. It's pretty much a two-shot. Go for Confusion. Not gonna do much. Our Steel typing is really nice. And Turkey just knocks it out. I was like, man, Turkey's like very bulky and it just has good resistances. Immune to ground because of its flying type. All it has is a electric and fire weakness, which is not that bad. We beat Pablo, and we heal up our team by just using regular potions instead of the Pokeball. And I'm like, let me give this protein to Crab. Like, hey, you can see our team right here. We kind of switch everyone out, and then we keep going down this path. We meet this dude who gives us kind of like a side quest. He wants us to give a letter to his sister in Ostro City. Her name is Winona. And we're like, oh yeah, sure. We'll give it to your sister. And we head out. We find another Magnemite. We're like, nah, we're not gonna fight it. There's no point. We keep heading down. We're gonna go now progress through the route, cross this bridge, and we meet our Mundanias, you know, the first gym leader. And he's telling us it hasn't been easy for them. They said they had to cook a dead Cubone to keep themselves from starving to death, which was kind of fucked up. You know, they could have just gone to the Pokemon Center. I don't know why they didn't do that. Telling us the world's a scary face, and they want to face us to see if it's all worth it. It's kind of neat to see like a gym leader become kind of like our rival. So he leads with Meowth. I led with Banana. I go for Confusion. Critical hit, knock it out. Pretty simple. Then they go to Swolfin. I'm like, okay, you go with your starter. I'm going to go with my starter. And I go lead out with Brayburn. Was surprised to see it had Ice Shard. But I was like, oh, that's fine. I am surprised to see that I'm faster than it. We crit it and then pretty much get all our HP back. No big deal. No sweat. Then they lead with Lickitung. And I'm like, okay, well, I'll try to Stun Sport. I miss. They hit me with the Stomp. I Stun Spore again. Paralyze them this time to get up a workup. Mega Drain them. And they keep stomping. I'm like, man, we are not getting lucky with the Parahacks. We get the Parahax this turn. They get a Super Potion on. I'm like, okay, so we're gonna last a little bit longer. Okay, this is gonna be a little bit longer of a fight. But we pretty much win it from here. This Lickitung can beat Brayburn. And Brayburn just gotta keep healing off of him. So, we beat Mudanyas. Simple as that. And he's like, well, you know, I'm not good for nothing. And then he tries to jump off this bridge. I don't know why they try to set this up. And he's like, well, I'm going to jump. And then a random Talonflame just freaking grabs him midair. And he survives. And he's like, oh, well, look at that. I think that was a legendary Pokemon. That's a sign that he must go on. So he keeps on trucking, which is good for him. Because it's kind of ridiculous that he tried to jump off a bridge. Just because he took an L. Like, it's alright, buddy. We all take L's. Just keep trucking. We go in here. There's nothing really here. This guy's just a bridge watchman. He's just trying to see if anything mysterious happens lately. Like supernatural stuff. And I checked the garbage can because sometimes they got some good loot in there. And this time there was nothing. So we go down this path. And we face this trainer. And I believe this Damsel Valerie leads with a Roselia. Banana has this in the bag, really. Super simple. Just one confusion. Knock it out. No Roselia is going to survive Kadabra's confusion. Then they lead with Aldino, and I'm like, oh, confusion. And it didn't do that much. I'm like, oh. She double slapped me. I made a joke like, wait, that's not double slap. I got slapped 3 times. And then I get another double. Oh, no, I missed this time. And then I go for slash. No, I go for aerial ace for the stab. I get a critical hit. Another 3 hits. Go for another aerial ace. Slaps me again a couple times. And we knock it out. Pretty simple. Pretty simple. Can't complain. Gives us a good amount of chunk of XP. We knock out Fury Cutter and we teach Turkey Metal Claw to give it a steel stab move, which would be good to deal with fairy types. I kind of check in the grass to see if there's anything worth of value here. Nothing, so we just keep running. I check here, maybe I'm like, oh, maybe there's some neat Pokemon here that we can like grab. Nothing. Just the same thing from the other side. Heal up my Pokemon before the fight. And we face this dude. His name is Backpacker Esteban. He leads out with a Weeping Bell. Banana's gonna have a fun day with this. Grass poisons any poison types. Banana got this. Even Turkey, because Turkey can just resist them. They lead out with Sneasel. I'm like, well, never mind. We're not breaking. We're not gonna keep Banana out. That's a threat. Surprised to see it go for Fury Swipes. And this freaking Sneasel gets a 5-hit Fury Swipes off. And I'm like, oh my god. Crab legs. It did like a good chunk of damage too. And I'm like, well, let me see if I can get some damage off on this. Go for Clamp. Does pretty decent damage. Loses like half its health. I'm always in a big disposition never to like use items in battles. I'm so used to doing it in hardcore Nuzlocke and stuff like that. And items in battles make them really simple. And we flame charge it. Gets knocked out. And pretty simple. Pretty easy. We keep on going after this. I do like the variety of trainers. We pick up this Super Repel. And then we keep going down this route. This is the last trainer, I believe, before we get to Ostro City. And she has a pretty decent team. Like, she leads off with Kecleon. And has Shadow Sneak. And I was like, oh, crap. Like, Banana, thank God, took it like a champ. But still. Changes the Psychic. I'm like, oh, perfect. You're a Psychic type now? Okay. I'm just going to switch over to S'mores. No, I actually go to Turkey. Because Turkey has knockoff, so just in case it has like a barrier or anything like that, we just knock it off. And it just knocks it out. 1 hit. They go for Haunter. I go for Knockoff again. I like the animation they do for Sucker Punch, like our little Pokemon's like, hey, where did they go? And they just deck us in the face. Really nice. And they go for Arbok. And I'm thinking to myself, no, we can deal with this. I go for Metal Claw. Yeah. So I'm like, well, I don't want to lose Turkey, so I go into S'mores because I know I gave S'mores Bulldoze because that was the TM we got from the gym. And we take a critical hit on Acid, but that's not that much since we resisted thanks to our ground typing. Slow it down. That gives us enough speed to beat up Arbok, and S'mores did pretty well. Also, S'mores does have Moxie, so kind of the reason I want to have it in a team because that ability is just really good. You get rid of Mud Shot because there's no reason for Crab Legs to have a special attack move as a physical attacker. Just heal my team up just in case there's another trainer. We find a Mankey. We already caught one in this route. We named it Pork Chops. This TM is TM12 with Taunt. Another Magnemite. We really don't care. And this is pretty much leading us to Astro City. And this is pretty much where we leave the stream. Hope you guys enjoyed this post recording. If you did, leave a like. I'll see you guys in the next episode where we will do everything in Astro City and hopefully do the 3rd gym leader. See you guys next.